Hello, True Life. Hope that you guys are doing good. Um, we're well. We're good here. Watching the first hints of brown start to come into the hills. Got a lot of work done around here, which has been nice. Been enjoying the evenings with my family, which is normally gone about 4 nights a week, and this has been nice. Not that I would wish the coronavirus upon our nation or anything, but God always works things to good, even things that are not good. And I know for me, having the evenings at home has been a real special time. Marianne and I celebrate our anniversary tomorrow, 27 years. So looking forward to that. Probably just do a quiet little fire pit or barbecue with the girls here. But that's a pretty neat, special day, and I just thank God for her. I am blessed, and I'd say she definitely uh, did not get the best end of that deal. I know I certainly did, but um, I wanted to send a shout out to a few people. Denny and Kathy did another mow at the church. Looks great. Spent hours there cleaning up in these stage alcoves, purging, organizing. Looks awesome. Just can't thank them enough for that. Uh, Cleared the piles from the parking lot, the burn piles, got those out of there. Debbie Ritchie made some just wonderful signs to hang below our golden mailbox, the trophy for the box sled wins the youth group have had, and uh, put that picture on here. You can take a look at that. Thank you also to all of you that have made offers and helped people. I know Stan's received multiple offers for helping him get groceries, and others. That's what it's about. We can never outgive God, and to be able to give to one another, to give of ourselves, to give of our resources, to share what we have, God is always going to honor and bless that. He always honors it when He is put first, and like I said, you can't outgive Him. I remember when we first started tithing, it was very scary. And if we'd had a good month, it was really scary because you saw how much you were given. And we just watched God's blessing, His taking care of us, His provision from so many different directions and ways. And it got to the point where it was really exciting the more we had to give to Him. And He's always honored that. He always honors when He is first in our heart, first in our lives. And when we bless the body, it's just taking care of doing good unto others, especially those of the household of faith. And I see you guys reaching out to each other and calling each other and saying, hey, I'm going to town, you need anything and stuff. It's good. Thank you. Appreciate that. And for those of you on Facebook or on the prayer chain, you probably already know Chuck passed on Monday. That's Leanne's brother-in-law, Dylan's uncle. As of now, there is not going to be a service, but wanted to let you know that. I know the family would value your prayers, and it's obviously a very hard night. I want to share some things. I got to walk away from the camera for a second. All right, I'm back. Julie sent me an email and in response to last Sunday's teaching, and she said that, when I was talking about believing in God and committing our life into God, not just to believe He exists, said it reminded her of a Bible study she did several years ago, and about taking the word in out of the phrase believing in God and simply making it believing God. And she said to say I believe in God has such a wide range of meaning to people, from I believe He exists to a true belief He is our Lord and active in our lives. To say I believe God means to say I believe God means I believe he is who he says he is, that he's truthful, that I believe his promises and more. And boy, that really resonated with me, removing that 2-letter word. It's huge. I believe in God. James says even the demons believe that and tremble. I believe God. That presupposes I believe in God, and it says not only do I believe in God, but I believe him. I trust him. I believe his words, his promises to be true, and the implicit assumption from that, obviously, is that you're going to act in accordance to what you believe. We live in response to what we perceive to be true. She went on to say, I can totally relate to what you said about his provision, which I had talked about. Not being, and I read this with her permission, not being anxious when we can't see how our needs will be met is an ongoing life lesson for me. Sort of like Paul, we have had very little and been very blessed. During the good times, I've known in my head that it could all disappear in an instant. During the bad times, I fought to keep faith that he will provide. And this is in reference, again, when I was talking about he is the only unchanging, and even when our bank accounts are full and our doctor's reports are good, he's always the one our trust lay in, not in any of that. She goes on, sometimes I've been fearful of going back to struggling to make ends meet, but I never wanted to put my trust in our bank account. One of the big things that Lord has shown me over the years is that he doesn't always provide our needs through the world's economy. I've seen him keep old cars running, provide dinner invitation when cupboards are bare, or send unexpected refund checks when bills are due. And I thought that was pretty neat, and I wanted to share that. Carolyn asked me to let you know that with her surgery and things, she's not getting to the bank weekly to deposit the tithe checks you've been sending in, and she doesn't want you to worry if you don't see them cashed. And Rich is basically, she can't go out right now and things, and Rich is basically checking the church mail once a week and then hoping the deposit's made maybe every 2 weeks. If you're concerned whether your check was received by her, she said feel free to contact her about that. So I wanted to pass that on for her. We have a song that Kathy sent in, and I want to share that with you now. I know it's going to bless you. So after that, I have a couple more updates and a few other things to share. So here's Kathy's song.
Hi, True Life friends and family. I have a song for you today, and I hope you enjoy it and that it uplifts you. Oh, clap your hands, all ye people. Shout unto God with a voice of triumph. Oh, clap your hands, all ye people. Shout unto God with a voice of triumph. My God shall supply all my needs according to his riches and glory. He shall give his angels charge over me. Jehovah Jireh cares for me, for me, for me. Jehovah Jireh cares for me. Jehovah Jireh, my provider, his grace is sufficient for me, for me, for me. Jehovah Jireh, my provider, his grace is sufficient for me. My God shall supply all my needs according to his riches and glory. He shall give his angels charge over me. Jehovah Jireh cares for me, for me, for me. Jehovah Jireh cares for me. Jehovah Jireh, your provider, his grace is sufficient for you, for you, for you. Jehovah Jireh, your provider, his grace is sufficient for you. Your God shall supply all your needs according to his riches and glory. He shall give his angels charge over you. Jehovah Jireh cares for you, for you, for you. Jehovah Jireh cares for you. Jehovah Jireh, our provider, his grace is sufficient for us, for us, for us. Jehovah Jireh, our provider, his grace is sufficient for us. Our God shall supply all our needs according to his riches and glory. He shall give his angels charge over us. Jehovah Jireh cares for us, for us, for us. Jehovah Jireh cares for us. Have a blessed week. Love you guys. Miss you all.
Well, thank you to Kathy, and thank you, Denny, for your excellent camera work on that. Del and Colleen had a refrigerator freezer go out and lost a bunch of food, but I think they're doing okay. Got it replaced, but the result of that being their sourdough bread making tutorial video is going to be pushed until next week. Wanted to let you know, if you are looking for something to watch and enjoy, something that might build up your faith, encourage you, make you laugh. Our family just put another video on YouTube. I'll put the link down below. It's called The Rocks Cry Out. It's 40 minutes long. It's got heroes and villains and chases and a lot of hamming it up by Mariana and myself and the girls. A fake premiere at Paso Theater, all done with green screen. And basically it's something we set out to do, to share with people the fossils we have found in the vast variety of locations and elevations, to encourage people's faith, that they can trust God's word is true, trust the flood of Noah happened, hence trust the creation account is true, and begin their faith on a solid foundation of the Bible. And so no pressure. This isn't about me, so if you don't want to watch it, that's fine. But if it's something that you're looking for something to do, make some popcorn and just have a fun 40 minutes. The footage with the girls was, well, all of it, other than the actual fossil pictures, was done in 2017. So shows them a lot younger. We had a lot to learn, but we had fun. We hammed it up, made it like a fake DVD and things. So if you want to watch it, there's the link. I'll put a few sample clips from it at the very end of this video. When it gets to them, if you don't have an interest, just turn it off. Speaking of watching things, I was a little surprised no one's asked about that DVD, The Power of the Air, the movie that we bought the copies of to share with the fellowship. I am asking you, as your pastor and everything that means, that you would consider taking an evening and watching it. Guess enough said. Let me know. I'll get it to you. And then I'd like to close with something that Abigail is agreed to be recorded reading. Basically, in our family worship time, we take from 7:40 to 8 each morning after we've each had quiet time. And I share this with the youth as well, but we just check in with each other. What was God showing you? Anything you want to bring to the table, share, maybe sing a song. And Abigail was sharing some things that God was showing her as she's been reading through the Bible. And it was really good. And she ended up writing it down. And Marianne and I were like, wow, this is good. This needs to be shared. Would you be willing to read it? So she did. So I'm going to put that video on here now. And then when that's over, it'll just roll straight into Rocks Cry Out, little clips. So, but definitely watch what she has to say. Turn off the movie part if you don't want. God bless you guys. Please continue to send me your sharings, your videos, your pictures, your emails, your updates. We'll keep you posted once this whole shelter-in-place things gets clarified, when we can start to gather. I'm hearing completely different things. Newsom's 3-stage plan puts in-person church gatherings at stage 3, which last I heard he said could be months away. I think there's got to be a constitutional challenge to that at some point, to a lot of this stuff that's happening personally. But we'll see, and we'll see how long we're just going to go with that and try and honor the authorities, and at what point we might just start to gather for those who want to. Um, we'll just have to see how God tells us. So just be in prayer for wisdom for us. But God bless you guys. Miss you. All right, let me know if you need anything. Let me know if you have anything to offer others. Remember, I've got the church email list. Going to town, offering to pick up groceries for people. Let me know. I'll shoot an email out. All right. God bless you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hi there, True Life. I hope that you all are doing well. I wanted to read you something that I had written. This is what I feel like God has sort of been speaking to me through my quiet time as I've been working through the Old Testament. And it's titled, Don't Be a Whitewashed Tomb. In Matthew 23, Jesus rebukes the Pharisees, or religious leaders of the Jews, because he saw in them that even though they performed their token religious duties, they themselves were in sin. He says in Matthew 23:3, For they preach but do not practice. Some of the many things that Jesus called the Pharisees included hypocrites, blind guides, and whitewashed tombs. He says to them, Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you are like whitewashed tombs, which outwardly appear beautiful, but within are full of dead people's bones and all uncleanness. This was a perfect picture of the Pharisees, because even though they performed their necessary duties of a Pharisee, their heart was wicked and sinful, yet quick to judge those beneath them. Unfortunately, among professing Christians, there are still those who fall under the description of a whitewashed tomb. Christians are not exempt from sin, and many perform their Christian duties when they think that someone is watching, but when it appears that they are out of the spotlight, their life and choices reflect nothing different than that of a non-Christian. However, God is always watching, and He knows if your life is reflecting the choices and behavior of a true Christian. 1 Samuel 16:7 says, For the Lord sees not as man sees. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart. This verse comes from the chapter when God is leading the prophet Samuel to anoint the new king, which would ultimately be David. But before Samuel sees young David, he looks at his older brother Eliab and thinks that he must be the one the Lord has chosen to be king because he was tall, strong, and handsome. But then comes the verse previously mentioned, when God warned Samuel that what is more important than the outward good looks is the state of his heart. I believe that this verse can also be applied spiritually. God cares more about a person's heart than that they perform their token religious duties. Another verse that contains a similar meaning comes in 1 Samuel 15:22, when Samuel is speaking to King Saul, who had just disobeyed the Lord's commands. Has the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to listen than the fat of rams. While this verse is literally talking about sacrificing, there are figurative sacrifices that people do today. Modern sacrifices might include the expected attendance of church each week, going to youth group, or token prayers before meals. While all of these are important, none of them matter if the rest of your life is lived in sin. What the verse above states is that God would rather you to obey Him and His word in your whole life than just look like a Christian on the outside. These instances in the Bible and many more explain that God doesn't want His followers to appear like good Christians on the outside, but be filled with sin to the core. He doesn't want Christians to be like the Pharisees, looking righteous on the outside, but worldly on the inside. Live to honor, obey, and reflect Christ in your whole life, not just on the surface. Don't be a whitewashed tomb. Well, I hope that this blesses you guys. I miss you. I'm looking forward to when we can meet again. Bye.
no one ever takes pictures of me.